Welcome, it's denome, and welcome to this market update. Today we have a special one because the markets have not done what we were expecting. So I have to say I was a little bit caught by surprise what has happened and why are the markets dumping. The short answer is S&P 500. The real world stocks are crashing and they have actually broken through the structure. So I will talk about that very soon in this video. But first, let's address the Ethereum ETF situation. So now we have had the Ethereum ETFs for 2 days, and what has happened is we have had two red candles to the downside. So Ethereum has fallen currently 8% after the Ethereum ETF launch, which is not what I was expecting. So what I was expecting was not anything bullish, but I was expecting just like a not really it to be like a non-event, that people would maybe rotate their money into altcoins, but that has not happened either. People are selling altcoins like crazy right now while Ethereum is crashing. So that was not what I was expecting. So I was expecting Ethereum to be pretty sideways here and just accumulation on the Ethereum ETFs. So what we are currently seeing, we saw about $200 million of inflows into these Ethereum ETFs, which is good, but it's not enough for Ethereum to be bullish. So at the same time, we saw Ethereum accumulation of people who are bullish for this event. But at the same time, when people are bullish for this event, it means that right after the event, the accumulation basically stops. People who have been accumulating are like, okay, now the Ethereum ETFs are launching, so now I can stop buying Ethereum. Now it can fly. And when enough people do that, the buying pressure is done, and now basically the sell pressure that has been there is just basically unleashed. And that's what we are currently seeing. But the good news here is that the structure of Ethereum has still been intact. So let me take a look at the weekly view here. You can see that Ethereum has been on this rising pattern for since 2016. So 8 years now Ethereum has been on this same trajectory. We respected it here in 2023. We respected this line in 2024 in July already, and we might still respect it once again. So the Ethereum structure has not changed. So I cannot really be bearish on Ethereum at the moment based on its chart here. But when we take a look at the real world, this is worrying to me. So you can already see what I'm talking about. So this structure, a wedge, has been in play since August 2023. And we flipped to the bull zone here in the start of July. And here I was like, okay, great. The markets are just gonna go into like a mania phase. That's very cool. But that did not happen. What did happen is in the last week, we have just seen a sell off from stocks, and now we are below the wedge. And this is scary for the fact that we have had these similar wedges before. So in 2018 to 2020, after this wedge was broken, you can see from the breakout moment to the absolute bottom here, that was a 31% move to the downside. And in 2020 to 2022, once this got broken to the downside, that's when things got really bad for crypto. So we got a 24% move to the downside on the stocks here, but as you know, crypto was just like minus 90%, minus 95%, minus 99% for altcoins. It's just a complete bear zone. So if we have something similar in the markets, Ethereum, by the way, during this time went to $800. So if we have something like that happen once again, that's going to be absolutely devastating for the crypto markets, and I hope that will not happen. But at the same time, we have now spotted this, which means that you can still protect your capital. So that's the good news here. At the same time, when we take a look at S&P 500, we have this bearish signal right now from today. But we don't have that same signal on Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is still basically in the bull zone here. So whatever might happen, the Dow Jones might even go down like 6%, 8%, and we're still basically inside the structure here. So there's still room for Dow Jones to crash. We can take a look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is kind of barely hanging on. This is the wrong one. Nasdaq here is the correct one. So Nasdaq has this support line here, and we are basically almost touching it. We can go down like 3%. If this also flips bearish, that's not gonna be great, because this is the same. We kind of got the same signal here, and here is when things started to go south from Nasdaq as well. So S&P 500 is giving us the bearish signal, so that's very scary in my opinion. When we take a look at Bitcoin, what I'm now thinking is, did the Bitcoin give us the signal? Because we had this kind of similar wedge here on Bitcoin. Once it broke to the downside, we flipped bearish, but we got this bullish RSI here. That's when I started to become a little bit more bullish. We broke the RSI trend line here. I flipped more bullish here on Bitcoin. The bullish momentum continued, but we haven't fallen below this trend line either here. So Bitcoin might have a nice bounce back from 63,000 here, or even S&P 500 could still just bounce back. Also, these are just arbitrary lines on the chart. But what is worrying for me is what I've been sharing in this channel also, the real world data, the worrying situation in the real estate markets in the United States, as well as the yields in United States between the 2-year and the 10-year treasuries. Because when those are inverted, which they have been for a year now, and they are inverted once again, that means that people are bearish in the short term. And that usually signals a crash is coming at some moment in time. So I was kind of hoping that the crash would come after the election, but it might actually come before the election. And after the election, markets flip bullish once again when we see quantitative easing. So right now, when we take a look at the total money supply of the world, so here we have the money supply of China, United States, Europe, Japan, Great Britain, all of them together. This is basically giving us the global liquidity chart. You can see from 2022 we have basically been going sideways on the global liquidity, and this chart has to break to the upside for markets to continue their bullishness. And here we have this long-term trend line, and this goes all the way back to 2008. We have been supported by this line here, and we have a couple of more months for this structure here, and we kind of flipped to the upside here. We didn't make an all-time high, but we kind of tried to flip over it, and now we're below it once again. So global liquidity, we need massive liquidity injections for markets to continue to go to the upside here. And right now we are not seeing that momentum shift in the global liquidity yet, which is kind of dragging the markets down, because there's not enough dollars to go around to push the prices higher. So this is kind of giving me the idea that the S&P 500 has topped, and it is also going down. So unfortunately, this is a little bit bearish in my opinion. The Ethereum structure is still bullish. Bitcoin might have a bounce. Who knows? Even S&P 500 may have a bounce. But this is giving me a serious PTSD pretty much, because we've seen this before, and we have reported it, and we have had those major bear markets after this has happened. So this is not the signal that I wanted to see on the charts. And obviously, when we take a look at the altcoins, like I've talked about the Lido DAO, this was pretty much the most depressing one. As you can see, 7-day move, 20% to the downside, 10% in the last 24 hours. So the one reason I bought Lido was that it is the liquid staking protocol for Ethereum. So if Ethereum is bullish or going sideways, and there's going to be a rotation in altcoins, it would make a lot of sense for Lido to move to the upside. And when we take a look at Lido, I have to explain this because I made this move, why I made it. So when we take a look at the LDO, the Lido price compared to the price of Ethereum, you can see that we were in this downward channel here. We have had multiple bullish divergences. We're currently at the absolute low here once again. So for all of these reasons, Lido just should go up. The fundamentals are extremely strong. When I actually went and looked at their Twitter here, you can see they are building, they are creating new things. Like now there's a vote on Aave if they're going to approve a new market for Lido finance, which would be the first custom deployment on Aave version 3. So obviously all of these things are very good because this means that Lido would become like an institutional investment as well. But it is the largest liquid staking protocol. Obviously there's the SEC case currently going on with Lido, but even now the chart looks absolutely amazing to me. So I'm not selling my Lido, but these are not the things that I want to see. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm conflicted. I have to say I'm conflicted. I don't like this. This is annoying. I don't know what to do pretty much. And I need your help. Please let me know what do you think of these markets. What do you think? Will the crypto markets just continue to crash with the real world? Will the real world even crash or not? What do you think is gonna happen? And I'm sure for the next video I will have more composure once we have analyzed the markets once again. Now I've been pretty much just taken by surprise by what has happened with the with S&P 500 and with the Ethereum price drop. Anyway, that's it pretty much for this video. Let me know in the comments. I will make another update once I have more information and I have clarified my position. But now I have sold a little bit, not much yet. I'm kind of expecting at least some form of short-term relief in the markets at least. So let's see how things go. That's it for this update, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks and bye-bye.